Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard. So pleased to be with you here on African Diaspora News Channel. Please make sure that as you come in, you give us a big thumbs up and share the broadcast. Thank you so very much. By the way, family, I want to be sure to advise you to check out our amazing app. Yes, African Diaspora News Channel. We have our own app. Family, you know how so many times we talk about having our own platforms. Well, this is one of several of our own platforms that's outside of other social media or online multimedia platforms. So, beloved, you help to expand our voice. We really want to grow it. That way we don't have the limitations that sometimes we're restricted to. So be sure to tell you, your family, friends, and loved ones, everybody you know, to be sure to download it and connect with us there, okay? I think you're going to love it. Thank you so very much. Family, you all know that the reason why we here at African Diaspora News Channel and the Black Grassroots Media, alternative Black media in general, give the Democrats the everlasting word. And some folks say, well, how come y'all don't talk about the Republicans? Beloved, because the overwhelming number of Black folks still today don't give the Republicans their votes. We're not letting them off the hook. But if you're giving specific power and putting people in positions to do something for you, that's the one that we're going to hold accountable. So stop asking crazy questions like that when we don't have an overwhelming number of Black folks that's voting for the Republicans. Somebody talk Black to me. Let me hit my gavel on that. In case you don't know, the Vicki Show was the home for many, many years of the hand claps and the gavel raps. I use the gavel because I want you to know that your word matters. Your word is powerful. And this symbol should not just be used for your oppressive legislators and judges. I want you to know that your word matters. Now, I want you to look at this brief clip of something, of a news clip of a recent press conference and announcement by Governor Hochul's, Kathy Hochul's administration of New York on this legislation that she just signed. Watch this.
Right the wrongs of the past.
Governor Hochul signed a bill Tuesday authorizing the creation of a community commission that will study the history of slavery in New York State and what reparations could look like.
You can see the unreckoned with impacts of slavery in things such as Black poverty, Black maternal mortality.
Activists like Nicole Carty say it's a long time coming. She helped advocate for the bill sponsored by Assemblywoman Michaelle Solanges after the racially motivated Buffalo, New York mass shooting.
We saw that monster come into a community and kill 12 Black New Yorkers.
The signing took place on the Upper West Side at the New York Historical Society, just down the hall from the Frederick Douglass exhibit. Slavery was abolished in New York in 1827 and officially across the U.S. in 1863. But it was followed by racially segregating practices like Jim Crow and redlining, denying loans to people based on race and neighborhoods, impacting generations.
One of the greatest housing programs that we can have in this country, and Black New Yorkers were excluded from that.
We still see Blacks making 70 cents to every dollar whites make.
Leaders like Al Sharpton say the commission comes at a challenging time in America. A 2021 Pew Research survey showed 77% of Black Americans support reparations, compared with only 18% of white Americans.
We do have a governor who is honest enough to say out loud that this was hard.
Y'all know this is a finesse, right? Black family, we're not going to waste our mental energy. We're not going to waste our mental bandwidth on pretending like that what the Democrats are doing is anything other than a delay tactic. I'm not someone that's big in sports, but I know enough to know that there is a such thing as in sports to run the clock out. My understanding, y'all comment below, is when you run the clock out, that basically means that the team that looks like they may have the advantage or that they could win, so they don't want to mess up the game and move too much, cause too much action to where the other side could get the ball and possibly score. If you know that you're close enough to a win, right? And you only got a few minutes before time is up, you just kind of hold the ball and you procrastinate and delay. That's what the Democrats are doing with this reparation study. What is there to study? There is nothing to study. Beloved, there was no study for the Asian Pacific Island community when they got those tens of millions of dollars in 1 year's time during the pandemic. There was no reparation study when the white Afghans were given tangibles. There was no reparations or monetary study or any type of study for the hundreds of billions of dollars we've sent to Ukraine in recent time. There was no reparation study when most of America got a check during the global catastrophe. There was no reparation study that we send to the Middle East billions and billions of dollars every single year. No study. No study. There's no study for anything except for the most recorded and provable human catastrophe that's ever existed, and that lasted longer and had the greatest damage, the most damaging effects. You want to sit here and play. Y'all want to play right in our faces about why we need to conduct a study. We're not playing these games. How many of you all know that we're less than a year out from the presidential election? So the Democrats know that the number one issue for their number one most faithful voting bloc to Black folks is reparations. So the reason why you're seeing all of these conversations pop up in different places by the intransigent and diabolical Democrats who've come out and explicitly said that they're against reparations. Now, you know, in recent years, Obama tried, after he was out of office, said, well, reparations is justified. But remember, when he was in office and had dang near a decade to do something about it, he not only did he not promote reparations, he argued against it. In an interview with Ta-Nehisi Coates for The Atlantic, you can pull that up and Google it. Obama sat there in the interview and said that Black folks in America are experiencing disparities in almost every area of society because of slavery, because of Jim Crow, because of other systemic forms of discrimination. But still said, it's not fair that other folks have to pay reparations. Remember, in that interview, I did the broadcast right here a couple of times where I gave you the receipts, where Obama said, you can pull it up, of course, too, where Obama said that Latinos and Asians are going to say, why should they pay reparations when they didn't have nothing to do with it? And of course, everybody ought to pay reparations, because everybody that's fleeing to the United States of America to experience the American dream, they're coming here based on our very Black American nightmare. You would not have a country to flee to if we didn't build it and create it and invent it. You benefit off of slavery. That's why you should pay in it. We didn't have nothing to do with the war in Ukraine, but they're using our very Black taxpayer dollars for that. We didn't have nothing to do with these wars that these corporations and companies who use our militaries as their individual police forces to steal the resources of Africa and the so-called Middle East. We didn't have nothing to do with that, but it's our taxpayer dollars are over there. We didn't have nothing to do with illegal immigrants violating the law, but our very Black taxpayer dollars are giving y'all all kinds of goodies. That's outrageous. Stay your funny looking self where you are. If you have a problem and want to say you didn't have nothing to do with it, you're still benefiting off of it, silly. You understand that. You wouldn't even have a dream to come to. They call the illegal immigrants here, dreamers. The people that commit federal crimes to get here, the U.S. government changes the name of what they did to dreaming. Can you imagine Black folks who committed, especially these low-level crimes that's trying to get a clear record? Can you imagine if you call what they did, having an understanding of what they did so that they could survive, you changed the name of it, you didn't call it a crime or a violation of law? What if you called the act that the Black folks did hope? Dreaming. Leveling up. This is a delay tactic. There's nothing to study. How many of you all know, shout out to our Black brothers and sisters all throughout California that was so successful in getting that reparation study and the operation that they had going there passed in terms of their commission, and they overwhelmingly voted for reparations. What happened? Your very, 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 very liberal governor of California declined their recommendation for reparations, a Democrat. James Clyburn, your very well-known elder statesman, I put statesman in quote, came out and talked about how it's an impossibility. When Obama was in office for the first bit of time, when he had a Democrat House of Representatives, a Democrat Senate, and he being the president could have signed that law, he did what no other president did. Nobody was able to pass any substantive health care. He spent all of his political capital making sure everybody in America, for the most part, not everybody, but a majority, could get halfway decent insurance. But he didn't make sure the true founding fathers and mothers of this country got reparations. It's a trick, but it's also a sign of our power, because reparations is something that we gave momentum to. We, alternative Black grassroots media. They know this is what we want. This is what I want y'all to get. They know this is what we demand. But they stick it to us and tell us they're not going to do it, continuing to play right in our faces. And we're not going to let you get away with it. I said, we're not going to let you get away with it. And we're calling this game out, this trick out, for what it is. You're trying to run the time out. But the thing in this case is that the trick is on you. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it below. My name is Vicki Dillard. Beloved, be sure to connect with me and my new school for a very low price, the Vicki Dillard Mystery School. It's going to change your life for the next 12 months for very low cost. Go to my website at VickiPlanet.com. That's VICKI Planet.com. But of course, be sure to share this broadcast from African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you again.